that you have a purpose in our lives and everything that we walk through, that you have a purpose. And so, God, I pray that today and tonight that you would speak through Jennifer and speak through her words and her story to bring yourself glory. We ask you to do these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen.
But people love darkness instead of light, walking in the darkness, not knowing where they are going. He has come into the world as light, so that whoever believes in him may not remain in darkness.
Crazy, lazy afternoon in our
The story of me is the story of my mom, because that is what generational poverty is. It's generation after generation after generation. So I need to tell the story of my mom in order to tell my story. She was born in 1938 in Elyria, Ohio. And she was the oldest of 5. And I think she's got a sibling or 2 here with us today. And her mom was an alcoholic. And her dad did what he can, but it was not a great situation. And as soon as she turned 18, she was out of there. She told me that she couldn't wait to get away because of the situation. And they were very poor, and they didn't have a lot, and she just didn't want to be around it anymore. The problem is, in that kind of situation, she didn't have the life skills she needed. And she went off trying to find love, find fulfillment, find happiness. Even though she did have a faith in God, she lived a different way. And she did that for a long time. She ended up getting pregnant with my brother when she was 18 years old. And back then in the 50s, when that happens, they put you away. And so she was put away until she had the baby, and he was put up for adoption. And then she continued on her path of how she was living, traveling around the country, really, from East Coast to West Coast. She was really living it up. She said she was a late bloomer hippie, is what she said. And she really enjoyed life. And she did that until she was 28. She met a guy who convinced her to take a motorcycle ride. She'd never been on a motorcycle before. And so she got on the motorcycle with him. And they had a terrible accident. And it was so bad that she was in a full body cast, and she was in a coma for a long time. She said she even slept through the assassination of Kennedy. When she woke up, the president was gone. The doctors told her she would never walk again. And she had surgery after surgery after surgery. And she did walk again, but she would never be the same. You can see in this picture soon after her accident and her recovery, you can see her legs. One is longer than the other. And she was just really wounded, really bad physically. So she continued kind of living the same way that she was. She did even try to go to Bible college at some point. I think she started understanding that maybe she was missing the most important thing in her life, which was God. And that because of the different injuries she had, the physical injuries, also her head injury was starting to show itself. She was not able to finish her Bible college degree. And then eventually she met my dad in 1977, and she was on the East Coast of New Jersey. And if you're not aware, during that time there was a lot of immigration at that time. A lot of immigration from Egypt, from Pakistan, and my mom found those men very attractive. So she met my dad from Pakistan, and she got pregnant with me. She didn't think she could. She said she thought she was too old. She was 38 at the time. And she said when she found out she was pregnant with me, she felt love all over her body in a way that she had never experienced before. And, you know, it's the 70s now. A single mom can keep her child. So she decided to keep me. Her mental state is still slowly disintegrating. And she runs away from there and runs back home to my grandpa's house. And we lived there, and I loved my grandpa so much. He was basically, I thought he was my father, right? And my mom is my mom, my grandpa is my father, and I had such great memories of him. By this time, he had fully dedicated himself to God. We used to live, he would play all his old time records, his Jesus records, and he would have had this big Bible in the house, and I would flip through it, and you know, those big family Bibles with the genealogies, and big full color pictures, and I would just flip through that all the time, and I just loved him so much. And then one day I was at preschool, and my mom came and picked me up, and she had terrible news for me. My grandpa had died. And this was the beginning of, I would say, the roller coaster of my life. And I have vague memories of just the turmoil after he died. I remember being at his funeral and for the first time experiencing this pain in my neck. I didn't know what it was. And it hurt really, really bad. And I knew, well, maybe if I cry, it would go away. And so that's my first memory of a lump in my throat, just realizing he was gone. And I know that the family had to figure out what to do with the house and everything. And so we had to move out. And so we moved to the apartments nearby. Grandpa's house was sold. And it was kindergarten. I was going to school there in Elyria. And then in the winter of that year, my mom had just snapped. Something in her just really broke. And she came home and she was mad at the weather. I mean, yeah, it is Cleveland. I get it. But she was so mad at the weather. And she's screaming at it in the snow, and she's just so upset. It's such a bad day for her. I don't know why. It's so bad that we have to leave. We just need to pack up, and we have got to go. And I left my school, didn't say goodbye to anybody, and we started driving. And we drove everywhere. We drove to the East Coast, up and down, all during winter break, and I think even into when I should have started school again. We lived out of our car. I slept in the car. We had a little styrofoam cooler, and we kept our food in that, I remember. And if you can't afford to stay at hotels, what we did is we would stay at flea markets. We would find flea markets as we got to the warmer weather, especially closer to Florida. We'd find a flea market and go stay there overnight, right? And so we landed in Florida, and I got enrolled at a new school for this second half of kindergarten, and eventually that didn't work out either. So we packed up, drove back home to Elyria, and where else would we stay if we don't have anywhere to stay? At a flea market. So we went to Jamie's flea market to stay there, and on that very same day, my Aunt Lillian was there. And she's here tonight, so you can say hi to her. And she saw us. I can't even imagine what that was like. And she took us back to Cleveland where she was, and we lived with her for a while. She took care of us, and I experienced the love of my family again, and just having her supporting us. Even though she had her own kids to take care of, she took care of me and my mom. Eventually, we got our own place. Lived in Cleveland from, I would say, the time I was first grade through middle of fourth grade. Probably moved around about 10 times, I would say, in that time frame. I assume it's because my mom wasn't paying her rent, and so she had to go somewhere else. And then I was bused most of those years to the east side, and so I was right there during that busing time. And then finally, fourth grade, I got to be on the west side. My mom was really starting to go downhill at this time, and I just remember instances that just are not pleasant to remember. She would lose her temper just in ways that didn't make sense. We would be in public, and she would just blow up at a stranger. You could just be sitting next to her, and she would make up a story about you that you have done something to her, and she would start screaming and cussing in public. And this was very embarrassing for me. And she started developing a mental illness, and it was getting really extreme. And then somehow my uncle realized we needed help, and he had my Uncle Ernie, I think he's here tonight, and he had some properties, and he had an apartment for us back to Elyria, keep making that path back to Elyria, and got us home there. Joined another school, and then my mom had a complete meltdown, and she came to the school demanding me because she thought they were doing something to me, and I didn't see her again for a few months after that. And I don't know what happened. I imagine the police came, and they do this thing where they pink slip you, and so my guess is that she was put away involuntarily because of her emotional state and what things she was saying that were very, very dangerous. And during that time, I lived with my aunt and uncle, and I got to experience their love for me and getting me through this. And it was a great time because because I got to go to school in a car that didn't get a lot of attention. We always drove the worst car. Back then we called it the hoopty. Okay, that's my generation. I drove the hoopty. My mom always had a hoopty, and the kids were relentless about it. And I loved it. I could just drive up and nobody noticed me. It was great. I loved it. So I experienced the love of my family that way. Love is so important when we're talking about getting out of poverty, generational poverty, or getting out of generational trauma. Love is a crucial component to that. And then later I'm going to be talking about God's love for me. And so this song is called Lost Without Your Love. Sometimes at night, my all in all, my only peace, every breath that I breathe is a breath that you keep. And when I fall, Lord, I believe I'm safe in your hands, and on your promises I stand. 'Cause I'd be lost without your love. I'd be all alone, wandering without hope, and every step I take would never be enough. 'Cause I'd be lost without your love. Sometimes at night, the rain keeps falling, and I don't know the way to go on this dark and lonely road. But there's a light, your love is calling. You run to where I am, and then you lead me home again. 'Cause I'd be lost without your love, and I'd be all alone, wandering without hope, and every step I take would never be enough. 'Cause I'd be lost without your love. So take me here, Lord, I belong to you. Remind me of your truth. So take me here, Lord, take me as I am. Meet me where I am. So take me, Lord, I belong to you. Remind me of your truth. So take me, Lord, take me as I am. Meet me where I am. 'Cause I'd be lost without your love. I'd be all alone, wandering without hope, and every step I take would never be enough. 'Cause I'd be lost without your love. I think the hardest part about growing up in poverty is just the continual sense of shame that was always on me. I remember being in Cleveland, and we were at a food pantry getting, I think, maybe a turkey meal or something like that, and the news people were there, and there was cameras, and I was like, oh, this is so exciting. They're like filming us, and I might be on TV. Yay, that's so cool. And then that night, we turn on the news and we watch it, and I'm just horrified because there I am in my green winter coat, and they're talking about all these poor people. And I'm like, oh, they're talking about me. There's them, and then there's me. Oh my goodness, what if the kids in my school see this and they're going to know I'm poor? And I'm in inner city Cleveland, and I'm worried about the kids thinking I'm poor. And I was so embarrassed. I'm like, why would they do that? And then we had food stamps, right? So nowadays you get a nice card, and it's on there. Back then, we had these booklets, and you go to pay for your food, it's rip one out, rip another one out. And my mom she had no idea what it meant to be discreet. And so going to the store with her was just horrifying to me because there might be somebody from school. And I lived in constant fear that people would find out I was poor. Just constantly. I didn't want them to know I was poor. Other things that just, our house was always so dirty. And just, my mom didn't know how to clean anything, and she didn't see the mess, and I just lived in it, and I knew it was there, and I was okay with it until my friends wanted to come over, and I didn't want them to come over. And I remember one time in Cleveland, she was having one of her breakdowns, and she was upset with the people downstairs for whatever reason, for no reason. And she went downstairs and was pounding on the screen door, and she broke the glass, and she's got blood coming down her hand. And so they called the EMTs, and they come upstairs to treat her, I'm sure the police were there too to try to figure out what was going on. They didn't understand my mom has just created this whole world in her mind that doesn't exist. And they're treating her, and they're just looking around. I just remember they're trying to step over things in our apartment, and they're just like, and they saw me, and I think he wanted to be kind. He was like, oh, you guys look like you're probably either just moved in or moving out. And I was like, yeah, that's it. I don't know why I remember that, but that was very kind of him to say that. By my senior year in high school, I was so stressed that people would know I was getting free lunches. I don't know why I got this in my mind. I couldn't bring myself to turn in the application for my free lunches. And I know it's ridiculous because people get free lunch. My kids got free lunches all through high school. But for me, I didn't want anybody to see the application. I didn't want them to see that I was getting welfare. I never turned the application in. And so my senior year in high school, I did not eat lunch. I wrote it off. I was like, it's like 8th period, or something. It's the end of the day. I don't need to eat. But I lived in that constant shame of not being like other people. And I was very vigilant. And so this for me is very exposing, by the way. But I made this step a long time ago. So I pulled that Band-Aid off. I had a lot of bitterness towards my mom, especially in junior high. Even though she had gotten better because she was taking the medicine that they prescribed her when she was put away in the mental institution, she was unable to work, just unable to really do much at all. And then she even got kind of like an invalid where she couldn't walk very well, and she needed my arm to hold on to, and that started probably I think 7th grade. And so I was her cane everywhere we went, and I had a lot of bitterness because I'm looking around like nobody else has these. I don't see anybody else like having to deal with this, and why can't my mom work? Why isn't she doing stuff? And it would make me mad. Like, I'm at school all day and I'm doing my homework. What are you doing, right? And then I was exhausted too because I was caring for her and trying to keep up the facade. It was very exhausting doing that. And then one day I was in high school and I was at church, And my mind was wandering, because, that's what we do, right? We're kids. Just imagining all sorts of things. And thinking about this, that, and the other thing. And I was having a pity party and talking to God. I was like, why can't I have stuff like everybody else? And then I just started picturing this boxer in a ring. And he's just getting pummeled and pummeled and pummeled. I'm like, why would anybody want to be a boxer? Like, you literally put yourself into a ring so people can punch you. I mean, like, where is the logic in that? And so I started thinking about why they would do that. I'm like, well, they get stronger with every match, every punch they get stronger and stronger and stronger. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe that's what my life is, and I'm getting stronger, and I don't understand the whole reason behind it. I decided it was in that moment I had this change of vision for my life, a change of perspective. And I was like, you know what? I think I am getting stronger, and I think this is going to have a purpose someday. So that's what this song is about. And I don't know if you've heard of Jars of Clay. It's a band, right? It's from when I was young. There's actually a verse in the Bible that talks about jars of clay, because in jars of clay, they're not really well made. And if they crack, and they tend to crack, if there's a light inside, it just shines through. Whatever's inside, you can see it. And I started thinking of myself as that jar of clay. And this is what it says in the Bible. For God said, "Let light shine out of darkness," has made his light shine in our hearts, to give us the light of the knowledge of God's glory displayed in the face of Christ. But we have this treasure in jars of clay to show that this all-surpassing power is from God and not from me. We are hard-pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair. If I breathe, my fingers might slip. It's just me. I'm not fit for this, but you make me something stronger than what I seem. I'll hang on. It's the fight of my life. I'll be strong. I won't give up the fight, 'cause I long to know there's more to this life than what I can see. So I'm hanging on. 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 You give me a reason to breathe, 'cause I need some kind of meaning. You won't leave, and now I'm starting to see all along, it was for your glory. So I'm hanging on, hanging on, hanging on. I'm hanging on, I'm hanging on, I'm hanging on. There's no reason for me to be lonely, or contentment to ever elude me. While every season I know there's a reason. So every day I wake, I'm gonna give you the glory. I'm singing na 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 na, hanging on. I'm singing na 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 na, hanging on. I'm hanging on. I'm hanging Thankfully, I didn't have to hang on alone. And one of the biggest lessons I've learned, I could have a pity party or I could be have gratitude for what God has given me. And the generosity that was poured out to me from my family, I mean, I don't even know half of what they've done for me. The generosity of piano lessons. I know my piano teachers gave me free lessons here and there. I know they did. There's no way my mom could afford the going rate. And yet somehow I ended up with piano lessons. And the piano, you can see, this is called an upright grand piano. So you know how big a grand is. Imagine this upright. It was very, very old and very loud and obnoxious in the apartment building where I lived with very thin walls. And just as loud as I just played and sang right now, I did that. Yes, I did that. Nobody kicked us out. Well, my uncle was the landlord, so I'm sure he fielded many complaints. But so I learned, to have gratitude, especially for my church. This is like lots of people coming around. They say it takes a village to raise a child. Well, I needed like many villages. And my church came alongside of me and they helped raise me. Somehow I went to church Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night in a Cadillac. Okay? Mr. and Mrs. Crawford, he loved his Cadillac. He picked us up 3 times a week. What is that? 52 weeks a year, like 150 times a year, 10 years? I don't even know. Who does that? One of the things I brought with me from Cleveland was lice. So they drove the little girl with lice and her crazy mom to church 3 times a week. What kind of person does that? It just blows your mind when you think about it. And then I had a Sunday school teacher, and I happened to be the only one my age during the time I was there. That probably was by design, by God's design. And my teacher, he showed up every Sunday to teach me. And I'm like, what? After I started thinking about it as an adult, I'm like, who does that? But if he hadn't done that, there was never anybody else my age. I would have never learned. And I found out at his funeral why he was like that. It was one of the biggest funerals I've been to. So I learned gratitude. In a church, I think when we embrace the poor, and we embrace those that are kind of castaways in society, we are truly showing what it means to be the church. James says, suppose a man comes into your meeting wearing a gold ring and fine clothes, and a poor man in filthy old clothes also comes in. If you show special attention to the man wearing fine clothes and say, here's a good seat for you, but say to the poor man, you stand over there, or sit on the floor by my feet, have you not discriminated among yourselves and become judges with evil thoughts? Listen, my dear brothers and sisters, has not God chosen those who are poor in the eyes of the world to be rich in faith and to inherit the kingdom He promised those who love Him? And that's exactly what my church did. They lived by that, and they showed it by their actions, and they weren't ashamed to call me one of their own and to put me on display, to put me in the prominent place to be seen. And then the biggest thing that I'm grateful for is God being my father. I didn't have a father growing up. God was my father every step of the way. My mom, she didn't have it together at all, but she remembered one thing from her childhood. A neighbor had led her to Christ, and she made sure I knew who Jesus was. From the moment I was born, she was telling me, believe in Jesus. Get to know Him. He's your Savior. And I did that for long as I can remember. I've known God, and I would pray to Him, and I knew He was with me. I had that faith. And in the uncertainty of poverty, when it really started getting bad in my life, it was that uncertainty and that pain inside that kept driving me back to His arms.
Deep inside
but it's a good pain that keeps me from running away from the only one I need. Oh, my broken heart will lead the way to a greater joy no one can take. It's a good pain. And I've tried to climb to greater heights. I just keep telling myself, give it one more try. But my foot slips again, and I'm lying on my back. I am beaten to the ground, trying hard to stand, broken from within. The shattered dreams are back, and my tears are flowing down. Please don't wipe away the tears, 'cause they're washing, they're washing. Don't take the pain from all those years. They're washing, they're washing. Please don't wipe away the tears, 'cause they're washing, they're washing. Don't take the pain from all those years, 'cause it's a good pain. Yeah, yeah. It's a good pain. Yeah, yeah. It's a good pain. Flying high above the strife, this is my abundant life. Carried on the wings of light, I fly. It's all of you, and none of me. I'll testify, testify of victory. And I won't lie, 'cause I believe it's all of you, and none of me. Look at all these broken chains. They're falling like they were nothing. They're fractured by abundant grace. The price you paid. Oh, the price you paid. All of you, and none of me. I'll testify, testify of victory. And I won't lie, 'cause I believe it's all of you, and none of me. And this is my testimony. I want the world to see your amazing story living through me. No more guilt, no more shame or rejection's pain. Just all of you, and none of me. It's all of you, and none of me. I'll testify, testify of victory. And I won't lie, 'cause I believe it's all of you, and none of me. So then my mom, this is the story of my mom, so we're going to get to the end of her life. She passed away in 2017. So I calculated it up, and I realized I'd been parenting my mom for about 30 years. And it was hard, and I also knew she loved me more than anyone else. And she lived with us actually for 12 years. She had always wanted to get married. I don't know how she didn't. She had enough guys in her life. But she always wanted to get married. And I used to pray to God. I was in junior high school. I was like, Lord, please let her get married. I need her to get married, because if she doesn't get married, I have to take care of her. And I prayed with that motivation. God, he heard my prayers. He did. He said no. And I thought for sure if I prayed hard enough, she would get married, but she didn't. God had other plans. Soon after I was married to my husband, Aaron, he said, hey, I'm thinking we maybe need to move your mom in with us. And my uncle, he had warned him. When he asked my uncle for my hand in marriage, my uncle warned him and says, well, you're not just marrying her, You're marrying her mom. And he married me anyway, and he invited my mom in to live with us. And so we all cared for her. As the grandkids came, we all cared for her for 12 years. And then it was harder than we could handle, so she went to a nursing home. And that was really difficult. When that I just can't even explain what kind of headspace that was for me. And I had somebody at our church, she was so great, and she just kept urging me, it's time. And I kept dragging my feet, and because she was young, she said, who puts somebody in the nursing home at this age, but her mind was just deteriorating really fast. She got diagnosed then with Alzheimer's, a very slow progressing Alzheimer's, and it was just, she was losing her memory a little bit. She'd say funny things, so it kept things humorous. The banter between my mom and my husband, sometimes, I tell you. During this time in the nursing home, it did get easier, because then I could just enjoy my time with her, and other people were taking care of her. And we had, the first nursing home was down in the Dayton area, and they had a big piano in the middle of this huge atrium, and it just reverberated, and I would go and play music, and they would wheel everybody out, and we would sing these songs, some of them like that one, Lost Without Your Love. I'd play that one a lot there. And Jessica would come and sing with me, and Eli, they'd all come and sing. So then we moved up here, and so we carted her up here, and she lived in Altenheim, and eventually succumbed to Alzheimer's. And she never had what she wanted in life. She was quite miserable, I would say, and very bitter, especially about the accident. She would sometimes just, that trucker, she would clench her fist, and she's so angry, so much bitterness inside of her at times. And sometimes she would just say, I want to go home. I just want to go home. And she would say it over and over again. And I just remembered that. And then in 2017, she passed away. This is with me maybe a day or so before she passed.
See in the video? Look. You see us? You want to say hi? Isn't that neat? Do you like the video? Yeah. I love you.
Lift your head up high and see the truth. You are precious and you're beautiful too. But don't believe the lies, the words inside. It's time to let them go. Just free your soul and fly. You are a butterfly. You've got new wings, so fly high. Just let it go and soar. Break down that prison door. There are no limits anymore. Let it go. I'll linger by your side and kiss your face, wishing your life had not been filled with so much pain. But leave the past behind. Don't be afraid, 'cause it's a brand new day. Let's celebrate your life. You are a butterfly. You've got new wings, so fly high. Just let it go and soar. Break down that prison door. There are no limits anymore. Just let it go and fly. You are a butterfly. You've got new wings, so fly high. Just let it go and soar. Break down that prison door. There are no limits anymore. Just let it go and fly home. Fly home. Just fly home. Fly home. So long, fly on. So long, till we meet again. So long, fly on. So long, till we meet again. And I'll remember your face. I'll remember your pain. I'll remember you every day. I'll remember your face. I'll remember your pain. I'll remember you every day. So long, fly on. So long, you're finally home. So long, fly on. So long, you're home. Let there be light. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. The people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. Those in the land of deep darkness, on them a light has shone. And he has delivered us from the domain of darkness and transferred us to his kingdom, the kingdom of his beloved Son. Jesus is the light of the world, and whoever follows him will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of light. And he calls you out of darkness into his marvelous light. Then shall your light break forth like the dawn, and your healing will soon come. Out of luck, will our world last another day? break these chains of captivity, and break our hearts for eternity. Blaze through the sky with your fire once again, and break through the night, break through the night, and let there be light. Let your love shine. Let the whole world know you. Let there be light, and let there be light. Let your love shine. Let the whole world know you. Let there be light. In uncertainty, despair runs deep while children sleep on dirty streets. Will our world last another day? Break these chains of captivity, and break our hearts for eternity. Blaze through the sky with your fire once again, and break through the night, break through the night. Let there be light. Let your love shine. Let the whole world know you. Let there be light. Let there be light. Let your love shine. Let the whole world know you. Let there be light. You gave your son, the Lamb, who would free us, and bought us for your glory to shine, and forever will belong to you, Jesus. There's no fear as you break through the night. Let there be light. Let your love shine. Let the whole world know you. Let there be light. Let there be light. Let your love shine. Let the whole world know you. Let there be light. Yes, you're allowed to clap now. Thank you. We will have a short intermission, so you can go to the restroom, grab a drink, and then we'll see you back in 10 minutes.